We welcome you to episode 63 of Battin and Chattin here on Eastern Observer. Alongside Denis Tuohy, I'm Brandon Natale. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube to be kept in on the loop on everything Eastern Observer and most importantly, Battin and Chattin. Our show can be found on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts can be found. Uh, a lot of great things happening in the baseball world right now, but also there's a lot going on in the world right now as Hurricane Milton, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Hurricane Milton has touched down in
And
Florida.
Helena. Getting two at once, right?
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of bad
Yeah.
weather. It's crazy. Um, yeah, Hurricane Marie, right? I believe they're getting
It's
two, if I'm correct.
yeah, it's Helena and Milton.
That's awful, man.
It's awful, yeah.
Oh wow, Gavin looks this. Wait, no, who hit that?
Gavin Lux. He's been
Oh, wow.
good this postseason.
We will be talking about the Padres and the Dodgers game right now. Like I said a lot, but right now, yeah, like I said, Florida right now is getting hit with some very, very, very awful weather, unimaginable. Like this is not what you would want. Like this is not good. Like the type of weather you evacuate.
Mm-hmm. A friend of ours had to.
Yeah. Um, I'm sure Dennis, like we do know a lot of people that are in Florida right now. We're praying for them, hoping that I gotta make some prayers for them tonight before I go to bed. A lot of friends right now they had to evacuate. Some are staying, and I guess they had to get whatever food they can, or just uh, someone did evacuate. I know our friend Chris, he saw a tornado.
Yeah, he filmed it.
Yeah, I
Sent it
told him.
to us.
I'm like, dude,
But
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, get away from there. Like,
he lived about a mile or two away from him. So and I looked it up. Hurricane Helene hit southeastern United States. That was the Brave series against the Mets. That's what delayed that. So it was a couple weeks ago. That was about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
right,
And then Milton is what's hitting Florida right now. So I forgot that there were two different things.
right, yeah,
So
no,
I thought that they're getting like two at once. I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, no, I think the first one what was the first one called?
Helene. It wasn't Helena. It was
That hit the
Helene. I said I
Carolinas
got it wrong.
pretty bad. That hit the
Yeah.
Carolinas pretty bad.
Okay.
And Milton's not good. I know you sent me the photo, the video on Instagram. So Tampa Bay is getting hit pretty bad. That's what everyone said was going to get swamped. It's not looking so far. It's not looking good because, well, as we could see, Tropicana Field. I don't know if anybody could see on social media, but shout out to John Boy Media and Talking Baseball. I know Dennis. You sent me the link of the Tropicana Field, which is housing some people who looking to avoid the bad weather.
Yeah, it's being
Avoid
used as a
avoid the
some
hurt.
kind of a center for either first responders or I guess residents. I don't know, but it's being used as a shelter. And the roof came off, or at least part of the roof. I can't see if it in the video. It doesn't show if it's the whole roof or just a part of it. So it's
I
a
think it's half,
shame. Yeah, it
which
looks
is
like it's quite a bit of it at least.
that's awful, man. I remember seeing Tropicana Field when I went to Tampa. Like I remember driving by. I never been in it, but I've drove past it, and so I don't know. That's just sad, man. I don't know because
Yeah.
that's you never want to see that happen. Obviously, it's the weather. Like yeah, no, yeah. I'm looking. There's other videos on it now. I see MLB District just posted. That's scary though. That's disturbed.
Yeah.
Oh
Please
wow.
be safe, everybody. And if you know people that live in that region of the U.S., reach out to them. Make sure that they're doing okay.
Make sure they're staying safe.
Yeah.
There's been some tornadoes, so make sure
Yeah.
they're
It's pretty gnarly down there.
where they're hiding at a good spot where say a tornado comes by, they're going to be okay, and hopefully like I said, to all the people down in Florida, I know a lot of people that are down there, some family, some friends who I consider family. I pray for your safety. Hope you guys you guys do great, best to survive, and hopefully not too much damage, and just make sure. Just you gotta hope I pray that they get through the hurricane safe and sound.
Hmm.
Everybody. So we just want to start off the show with that. But so yes, in lighter news. So obviously, wait, hold on. Before we get to that, actually, make sure if you see Red Cross, donate,
Yeah. Do your part.
do your part, and like Dennis said, you know someone down there, check in on them, keep them company, because who knows what's going on through their mind. I know one of my good friends. Shout out to Gina. She's I live lives she lives down there and she's very stressed. So this stressful times. So definitely make sure they're okay. Keep the mind occupied.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was talking to my dad earlier, and it's that region of the U.S. they've gotten a lot of bad weather. Obviously, I mean, a little further out west, I guess, was like the worst of Katrina. But when we were kids, obviously, you always heard about Katrina. There's these hurricanes and whatnot. It's a shame. Tropical storms, things like that. It's sad because it is a nice part. I've been down there to Florida a few times. And it's nice. It's
yeah,
a nice. It's a nice area. So it's a shame. A lot of nice people down there.
yeah. Like I said,
So
you just like we said, I hope the people are safe.
yeah.
But in lighter news, there's been a lot going on in the baseball world.
Hmm.
A lot of stuff going on.
A lot of good stuff for our New York teams.
I know the Yankees. Yep, we will get to that eventually. But the Yankees just beat the Kansas City Royals 3-2, and then the
Yes.
Yankees take the lead in the ALCS. You know, we're going to talk more about the series then. My New York Mets. Oh, good, better.
Good for you guys. Good for you guys. You guys deserve a break.
This is great,
Yeah.
and I hope I keep playing. I hope I keep playing that song as we. I just hope we keep playing that song as they clinch each time. So like, hopefully, Game 5, whoever they play, San Diego or LA, it's Game 5 at Citi Field. They clinch it. They clinch the pennant, and I play again. I play. And if they win the World Series, if they make it there, one step closer. Heck, I'm gonna be blasting it in my car. Or I'll have a speaker, like how they in Baby Come Back, whatever movie that is.
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
boombox.
Except I'm not. I'll be all over. I'll be walking down all over the street. Maybe, yeah, like around my block where it's blasting over my head like it's the '80s with a big
Yeah.
jukebox over my head. So, what a series, man! I'm
Yeah. Thrilling. Thrilling series.
um great series. I know a lot of people that were there tonight at the game at game 5. No, game 4. And game was scaring me a bit. Let's talk about the whole series in general because it's been a week. Like obviously, we do it weekly. We don't get the opportunity to do it every day.
Hmm.
Our brilliant and great podcast, Battin and Chattin. So let's just take a look at the series. So the first game was great. They rallied in the 8th inning because I know Zach Wheeler was pitching. He was dominating at first, and then he got taken out. And then that's when Mark Vientos, who had a great NLDS, came out. He tied the game with his RBI single. Then Brandon Nimmo gave the Mets the lead with the 2-1. After that, Alonso with the sacrifice fly, making it 3-1. JD Martinez contributing and Starling Marte for RBI singles to make it 5-4. And then the Phillies try to rally in the ninth, but then Cody with a Cody Clemens RBI double. But in the end, the Mets won the game 6-2. Now the next day, the Mets find themselves trailing. The Mets take the lead. I remember after top of the 7th, they find the game was tied, and Brandon Nimmo solo home run on top of the 7th gave them a 4-3 lead. But then Edwin Diaz came in the bottom of the 8th. Actually came in the top in like the 7th inning, which I thought was crazy. Like having your closer come in the 7th inning is crazy. That I thought was like, because I don't know what they were trying to do with that.
That's the new age, man. It doesn't have to be safe situations. They call it high leverage situations. You bring in your closer right now. It's a different time than it used to be. I mean, listen, you know me. Like I'm a big baseball history guy, so
Right.
It used to be your closer would come in the 7th inning and just pitch 7, 8, 9. And that was, your Goose Gossages, your Raleigh Fingers, guys like that.
Right.
And then it kind of changed, I guess, probably in like the 80s. You had like Tom Henke on Toronto. You had Dennis Eckersley on Oakland, in Chicago before that. Lee Smith, Bruce Sutter, guys like that were just like the 9-inning, 8, 9-inning guys, or 5-out saves, things like that. And, and then you had the closer by committee with the Reds, and now it's just in the 90s, the Nasty Boys, right, 1990. And now it's kind of evolved to just get the most important outs.
Right.
If that's in the 9th inning, it's in the 9th inning. If it's in the 8th, it's in the 8th. So they went to Diaz there, and
I just thought that. I mean, I get it in the 8th inning. I get that, but the 7th, that I thought was just a bit too much.
He had to get those outs, and he did not look good. I was nervous because I thought they were overusing him, and I was kind of getting, again, like I just said, big baseball history guy. For you Philly fans out there, first of all, sorry your team got eliminated, and now that I'm not covering the Phillies anymore, like I kind of don't care, but kind of shades in 1993, Mitch Williams. Late in the season, the Mets were using Edwin Diaz constantly, and I was nervous that they kind of overused him a bit because he's been struggling with control. And honestly, even today,
yeah, when he
wasn't
came in
exactly dominant.
No, he wasn't. No, I agree.
He kind of had me worried there for a little bit. He couldn't find the strike zone. His slider was,
his slide. Yeah, no, he was all over the place. No, I agree. I was watching that whole 9th inning. It was. I got a little concerned. I got a little nervous, and the announcers, AJ Basinski, Adam Wainwright, and Adam Ains, they even were saying themselves, like, the Citi Field, like the crowd, they could, they nervous, like they're saying, like they should be happy or like smiling no matter what, even how far they come. But either way, as Mets fans, as like I said, I'm a diehard Mets fan. We're nervous because like this is, we want to keep going to the next step. Like, I guess because like we're not satisfied until we keep going. It's with all New York sports, So you can see the crowd is nervous because like there's coming how far they've gotten. They want to keep going. So like, it's like when we hung out with Evan Roberts and I went to the bathroom before the bottom of the 9th inning because I wanted to make sure I went to the bathroom, But like, you know what I mean? It's like, but like Evan was like amazed at how confident I was. Like, what did he say, Evan? He was like,
yeah, he's I forget exactly the phrasing he used, but he said, he's like, oh, that's a lot of confidence there,
Yeah. So especially with the Mets, like I said, you don't know, anything could happen. So that's why a lot of the Mets fans were like very nervous the whole game, throughout the whole game, because like this is game 4. You're up, like you're 1 win away from the NLCS, so anything could happen. So like they're right on the edge of their feet, So when Edwin Diaz was up there, like a lot of balls, a lot of not a lot of strikes. Like Mets fans were getting pretty nervous. Like I said, I'm a diehard Mets fan. I was almost freaking out. Like, what's going on? Like, you're almost there. There's 3 more outs, but they managed to get, Diaz seems to find the groove and get out of them. And then, he next thing you know, Mets are celebrating. But in game 2, that was not the case.
No.
Vientos, though, very clutch.
Yeah.
And what
good
a story
young player
for
you guys.
What a story he's
good
had.
Team. You guys have a really good team. He was good today again. I mean, good at bats. What did I say preseason? I said the pitching staff's, going to be iffy, and Minaya. Oh my gosh.
You loved Minaya. You said it right off the bat. You were
right off the bat. I said I love that signing, and I explained to you why I loved it. And they've been making a big deal about it on these national broadcasts, his kind of crossfire warm-ups, how he goes from the 2 different. Have you seen this?
I did.
The
see
bullpen,
that.
when he starts, for those of you who don't know, when he's warming up in the bullpen pre-game, there's 2 mounds, and he warms up cross, diagonal. He's kind of like a bishop in chess. By the way, that'd be a sick nickname for him. And sadly, there aren't good nicknames in sports anymore. But to call him the bishop, bro. I mean, who's somebody from the New York Post? If you're listening to this, you're welcome. Just give me a credit and a job, and we'll call it a day.
There you go. You can
Because
just talk to Brian Costello, where he covers the Jets, actually.
what a name, you know?
Yeah, hey,
But
there you go.
he has like that diagonal thing going on. Hey, man, it's working. It's working. And he was fantastic for you yesterday.
He was amazing. And he was the definition of an amazing Met.
Yeah, so when's his statue getting built? Because you guys really needed that.
We did.
And so I'm going to pull up the stats for you at home. What a, as we're going to be talking about New York players performing in the postseason with my Yankees, it's important to talk about, like some of them are doing good, some of them are doing bad. And then there's some guys, it just is the way it is. Some guys have that extra gear, some guys don't. Now, when what I'm getting at it is, I think it's clear Sean Manaea has that extra gear.
Yeah, no.
He had 7 innings pitched, allowed 1 earned run, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 91 pitches, 65 strikes, and a 2.25 ERA. Or 2.25, I guess, postseason ERA. Really good. Really good. And he wasn't the best against Milwaukee. He had 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 homer. So not great. No walks. He did have 2 against Philly yesterday. But, still, overall, when you guys need that, especially to save that bullpen, unbelievable performance from him.
No, Sean Manaea was great. You could tell he had that edge, the excitement. When I was looking at him, I was thinking of Matt Harvey. Because I just, when Matt Harvey brought that energy in the playoffs, that's just who I thought, that's just who it reminded me of. And it was great to see that, Manaea had the energy, had the passion. Obviously, like I said, the energy. It was great to watch. It was great. It was a great showing. And like you said, they needed it. That bullpen definitely needed it too. Especially they definitely needed it for today. So that he had a great start that day, and yeah, just what you've told me for the longest time. You said it before. He's like, oh, great signing, and then it took a while for me to get used to him. But the pitching just dominated. It's interesting what could have been if they had Senga the whole year.
Yeah,
people keep forgetting they didn't have Kodai Senga. You know what else I just realized today? What if they had Jacob deGrom? Could this happen? He probably he would have been hurt, or he would have came back. But either way, would that have affected their how the season would have went? Like maybe they would have spent differently on players. Like maybe they wouldn't have gotten Manaea. They wouldn't have gotten Severino.
Yeah, that's important.
So people keep forgetting, and I'm not saying having DeGrom if the Mets would have been better if they had them. I'm saying no matter what, they're in a good place. With DeGrom on the team and all, obviously DeGrom on the Texas Rangers, but just imagine if they had him too, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, you're right. It is. The other thing I want to say that when we're talking about Vientos and Pete Alonso's coming alive and Lindor, obviously the Grand Slam tonight, preseason. The reason why I was higher on the Mets than literally everybody was because of the lineup.
Yeah, no, we said
I thought the pitching was going to be questionable. I really liked the Manaea signing. I really liked Senga going into the year. And the rest of it, I wasn't too high on. I'll be the first one to admit it. I thought Severino wasn't going to be good for you guys because of the health. I thought he was going to be a glass cannon like he was for the Yankees.
I was
confident in Edwin coming back. I didn't like the rest of your bullpen. And I'll own that part of it. But, and you guys could go back and listen to all of our episodes here, even when you guys were the third to worst team in the National League, and oh my God, the Mets suck. There are still only 4 or 5 games away from being fifth. That they're still in the wild card range. Because I remember we were talking about it. And I kept saying, All the teams ahead of them, who they have coming back, the Mets have Kodai Senga at some point is going to be coming back. And a lot of these teams don't have that, X factor to look forward to. Now that the lineup is clicking, even have Jesse Winker clicking.
Yeah.
And to have, and I say that as even he's clicking. That sounds a little condescending, but allow me to elaborate. To have somebody who's a platoon guy or a pinch hitter and not getting consistent opportunities to be hot and stay hot and be kind of like that, kind of like the Johnny Damon of the team, like have like that, or like the Mark Millar of that team, or Kevin Millar, excuse me, of that team, to be kind of, have that FU to him, that edge to him when he's playing. Like that really means something.
I think
So you guys have a really good team here.
it is a really good team.
I said it after we saw them against the Phillies. What did I say? I said I just saw the World Series team. I just saw the Mets. They're going to the World Series. I think they're going to win it. I don't know who's better than them right now. I'm not trying to put that devil on you, Ricky Bobby, but it's who's better.
I like him
now. I'm sorry to cut you off again. Assuming the Dodgers hold on to this 8-0 lead, the Mets, the Padres and Dodgers, they're going to travel tomorrow. They're going to go Friday. The Mets now have that extra time to rest, to get, if my concerns about maybe them overusing Diaz, or if other Met fans had those concerns about overusing Diaz or some bullpen pieces like Budo or others, you have that time. You have that time for Senga to now maybe, throw a bullpen session or something like that. And maybe now, instead of going 2 innings, he can go 3. Maybe he can push himself for 4, depending on his pitch counts. Now you got everything kind of working for you. The Padres got slaughtered tonight. The Dodgers have so many pitching questions. I guess tomorrow for the Michael King went for the still in seats for the tonight. Michael King was yesterday. So tomorrow it's going to be Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is no one to mess with. But, I don't know who you guys are going to be going up against. It could be a tough out for you, but at the same time, too, you don't have the question marks either team has. The Dodgers have today, they're somehow, some way shutting out the Padres with a bullpen game in the playoffs. All their guys are done for the year. They're not getting anyone back. Game 5, I don't know who they're throwing out, to be honest. Probably Bobby Miller, maybe? I don't know. So they have questions there. The Padres, if they get there, I think there's going to be some concerns about their pitching staff without Musgrove now for the year. You guys, who your studs are in the rotation. You have it the bullpen anchored by Diaz and Budo. Your lineup is the best unit in the playoffs right now, in my opinion. When talking about rotations, bullpens, defense, whatever, your lineup is the best unit in the postseason. I don't even think it's arguable that your lineup is the best unit in the postseason right now of any team left. And I don't know. Like, you guys are in a really good spot. And I don't want to – part of this is a little bit of the Rocktober 07 Rockies, where if sometimes teams do peak at that wrong time, then they breeze through the playoffs and they're cold by the time the World Series comes around. Hopefully you can avoid that, because this is a really fun and exciting team to watch.
It is
kind of has that potential to be one of those classic teams in sports if this goes the distance. They're underdogs. They had their little gimmicks, sure, but
it's worth it in the end.
They have the star power in Lindor and then Alonso. I think Brandon Nimmo could emerge as a national star now, how he's played. You have the young talent in Francisco Alvarez and Mark Vientos and Luis Angel Acuna Jr., who people are going to be looking back at. And I called him Luis Angel Acuna Jr., but he's not a junior. His brother's the junior. So, you know, it's a fun time for you. I know I was long-winded there and I cut you off 800 different times. So the floor is yours.
No, thank you, Dennis. Hey, well said. Like I said, I'll say it again. Well said. You are one of the smartest people I know when it comes to baseball. So hey, I don't
Thank you.
care.
Appreciate that.
You did a Saturday Night Fever type dance on the dance floor right there with your
Thank
take.
you. Thank you. Big BG's
And,
here.
the John Travolta too, not like the But anyways, like I said, um, you know me as one of the biggest Jets fans ever. How I love the Jets, I love the Mets. I like to consider myself diehard with the Mets. Like I said, I am a diehard Mets fan. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say, this is amazing. This is what makes the Mets the amazing Mets. When I have that nickname. Like you said, um, it's been interesting. They weren't supposed to be good this year. They traded away Verlander, Scherzer, a lot of other players, Mark Hanna, a list of other players I can go on forever. You know, they were supposed to trade away Pete Alonso this year at the deadline. He stayed around. So coming into this year, not a lot of people had a lot of faith in them. But I remember before the season, we said it. I said it I said I like the line. I remember saying it. Like, you had JD Martinez on the lineup. On paper, it's not really that bad of a lineup. And it took him a while. It took him a while to kind of mesh and to kind of gel. Lindor in the beginning of the year, we were roasting him on here. And I even had to come up. I even had to apologize on here, because I did come to before he went back before he went going on a tear. I remember saying how, I remember apologizing on here about Lindor because, hey, he still is a great shortstop defensively. It just, once he got going offensively, we knew he was going to get going. So that's why I put my apology out there. So, and it's good I did that because, it was because later on he did go on his tear. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I'm just glad that, Lindor had that run he's close to now. It's crazy. He was batting 180. Now he's close to being MVP. That's insane. I don't think anybody could say they did that. You know. So like I said, Alonso, the fact that he almost was ran out of town, like when he dropped that ball in the Milwaukee Wild Card game, everybody's there's the Brewers fans were laughing at him. Mets fans were ready for him to get to run him out of town, and then that literally changed within a second after that Game 3 home run, which was amazing. I remember I woke up my dad. My dad was taking a nap. And then I woke him up and I watched the last inning with my folks. Because they were upstairs. I watch every game obviously with my dad, but he was upstairs. But either way, but the pitching staff, I know the pitching was a little iffy. That's really the only thing I had, and it's played amazing. It's like you wouldn't have thought. Like there was any question that a lot of them having like 7 innings outings. And Jose Iglesias, what a story for him. Started off in the season in AAA, say contemplating retirement. Then, David Stearns, and he did refer to him, like the Mets did say to him, like, hey, like, you're gonna come up, just give us some time. He came up, was batting amazing, great defensive player, hitting in the 300s. It's crazy he didn't qualify for the batting title. And then Mark Vientos, who would have known he would turn out to be the player he was? And I wasn't high on him before coming into this year. The first couple of years in the league, he was kind of, I guess learning, adjusting. And then I think it was Bryce Harper that kind of said to him, like, hey, you have a lot of power. Like, use it. Just be careful. Like, he said something, Bryce Harper, to him. Because, boy, does Mark Vientos have that power, man. It almost reminds you. And I think it was the ESPN announcers when they were playing the Yankees that they said it. Like, they were comparing him to Stanton. And I could see it. The way his bat and his stance is, you could definitely see it. So, and then if you would have told me at the beginning of the year, not just the beginning of the Mets season, but the beginning of January 1st of 2024, that Grimace would play a factor in the Mets season somehow. It's probably the most random thing I think I've ever experienced in sports, in my sports life. And honestly, like, I never tried the Grimace shake. I got to try it.
I hate to burst your bubble here, but no, that's a miss. The Grimace
Really?
Shake is a
That's a
miss.
miss.
Even at like my absolute fattest, when I could just down whatever, I had a Grimace Shake and it was no good.
Really? Okay.
It was not, it was horrible. The Shamrock Shake, on the other hand, I could still mess with Shamrock Shake.
I never tried the Shamrock Shake though. I gotta try it.
What? They used to put the
Yeah.
cherry in it too. They don't do that anymore. That kind of ticks me off a little bit.
Well, if I tell Grimace, I'll tell him, hey, you gotta give me Shamrock Shake.
Yeah.
I'll
Well, you
smash
don't want
it.
to offend Grimace by not getting his shake.
That's true. That's very
Yeah.
true. Hey,
So
hey,
if
I'm
you do
sorry,
meet
Grimace.
the Grimace, you have to get the Grimace shake and just, take a few sips of it and just cry about it later.
But like, what are the odds though? That like, I mean, it's crazy how the Mets can make like just media and Mets fandom and the Mets they can make anything like a sensation. Like Grimace throws out the first pitch. Next thing you know, they're going on a tear, and people use Grimace as the reason why they became good. It's like, you know, like with the '69 Mets when the Black Cat stared at the Cubs dugout, and then they somehow went on a tear and went from 10 games back to like first place in '69.
Mhm.
'86, the Bill, they had a rap like they had their own rap song, "Let's Go Mets Go," and then the fan skydives onto the field in Game 6. 2000 they had like who let the dog like that song like that was like it's
Mhm.
rallying for them. What are you gonna say? Looks like you're gonna say something.
It is really weird now that you mention it. How the Mets are. You forgot the biggest one, Tug McGraw.
You got to believe.
Yeah.
'73 they rallied first. And
Yeah. Like the Mets have like this weird. Yeah. Like, who the Mets remind me of? They remind me of me in our fantasy football league. How I could just pull out black magic every now and then and just make weird stuff happen in our football league, like Richie
don't
James
get me
having a
don't get me
career
started,
game
please.
against you years
Don't get me
ago.
don't get me started on my fantasy
You know,
football team in that league, man. I could
and
go on forever. Don't get me
yeah,
started.
the Mets are kind of like me. Bartolo Colon, the whole big sexy phenomenon.
Yeah, I love Bartolo, man.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Harvey Day and stuff like that. Like
But I
it's
love it.
bizarre.
But it's great though.
The
It's great.
first strikeout. You know how every single game now, I don't know if you know this or not, you have his autograph behind you. You know how all the teams have those strikeout counters? Do you know the first one? The
Doc
K
Gooden,
corner.
the
Yeah.
K corner. It's because of Doc Gooden.
Unbelievable. Like when you think about it, like I don't know if there's like a team that's one less but has been more, and I don't mean it as a negative, like culturally, the
Yeah,
Mets are just astounding from like a team culture perspective. They're so unique that they always have something.
LFGM,
Yeah,
LGM.
yeah.
Santa Maria. Yeah. And like I said,
It's something.
it's amazing, man.
It's
That's what makes them the amazing Mets.
They really are like a spectacle when they're doing good. It's like it doesn't come easy. Like it has to have some kind of gimmick attached to it,
It's
which is
hey,
fun. I mean, it's fun
yeah,
to
it's
be
fun,
honest
man.
with you.
I love it. Like I said,
Yeah.
so
Wow.
and so no,
Huh.
like I said,
Love that.
I love Candelita. It's a great song, in my opinion.
It's okay.
Come on,
It's not my
well,
style of
come on,
music, so like it's not. It's not like it's something that I'm like, wow, I absolutely love this. Like I'm not surprised that I'm not too keen on it. I
come on.
feel like a lot of like this kind of like reggaeton dance songs kind of sound the same. They all sound the
I
same.
think it's great. I think it's great. If I ask any other fellow Met fan, I'm sure they would tell me like,
Oh yeah, well if you're an Met fan, of course they'd say it's good.
you know what? Next time I go to Yankee Stadium, I'll ask people, like, hey, come on, Cantalita, come on.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh
Oh,
yeah,
dude. You know what I said to you when we were at the
the
Phillies game?
Athletics,
When Jose Iglesias comes back one day for Mets
yeah,
Old
old
Timers
timers,
Day,
yeah,
the pop he's gonna get.
that was great, yeah, that was
When
great.
Oh My God plays, oh my God, pun intended. He's like the pop he's gonna get by the
That was good.
fans
That was
is
good.
thank you, is going to be insane. I don't know
Off,
if it's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
like, you know, Daryl and Doc and Keith levels, but it's going to be huge.
He's going to perform before his at bat. Like before the at bat,
Yeah.
he's going to perform.
He might perform
Yeah.
because now he's got Pitbull doing a remix. Like, unbelievable. This guy.
So yeah, no, it's.
I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
As far as athletes turn musicians, like legitimate athletes turn musicians, not like Master P, who played like 2 days for the Toronto Raptors.
Master P.
I can't think of who's better. I think he's the GOAT. Kobe sucked at rapping. Shaq's rap, not that good. Allen Iverson, not good.
Lillard.
Damian Lillard, pretty bad. If your most famous bars, Space Jam, not Blue Chips, and the Space Jam you're in kind of sucked.
What about Ron Artest with Champions? That's a good song.
Never heard of that. I can't speak to.
Really? I'll send it to you later. That's a good song by Ron Artest. Yeah.
Dude. I think he might be the GOAT.
I
think Jose Iglesias might be the GOAT.
He's probably the GOAT.
Athlete turned musician. Unless of course I'm forgetting somebody. I don't know.
God.
It's catchy. It's catchy.
It's great. But so like getting back to the Mets.
Yeah. Okay.
Severino. I like how Severino. Like I thought it was great when they took a chance on him. I didn't think he was going to stay as healthy as long as he did. We all kind of thought that he was. I guess I'm not sure if we all said it during the show, but I know we all had our concerns about his injury history and if he was going to last a whole season. People were saying that he was reaching his limit. He's about to break down, and the car keeps going. The car keeps going. David Peterson. Who would have known he was going to turn out like the impact he has on the team? Like every start that he had, they would win. Even if he wasn't like a split decision, like he got a no decision, like no matter what he pitched, like they would win the game. So it was rare. Like when David Peterson started, you knew the Mets were going to win. And Quintana's looked good. I know there was times he had 3 or 4 or he had a couple consecutive 7-inning games.
Quality starts.
Yeah, JD Martinez, who would he had a great. He kind of got the rally going, and I just think it's great that they kept everybody together. Like Pete Alonso, he was supposed to be traded, and they were telling him they were telling David Stearns hey, don't sell, we got something here, and he believed in it. David Stearns, you got to believe. Mm-hmm. David Stearns believed, and so far, it's looking great. We're heading to the freaking NLCS. That is huge. That is remarkable. That is exciting. They look great, and they got great energy, and I agree. Honestly, and we said it on a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to say they could win it. I'm not saying they're not gonna. They don't have that opportunity. I don't want to jinx it. So all I'm going to say is they definitely can make it to the World Series.
I think they're the favorite to win it.
I would love for them to win it. Are you kidding me? They definitely have a shot.
The best team right now.
They have a shot to win it. They definitely have a shot to win it.
Continue.
I just don't want to jinx it. They definitely have a great shot. Yeah, I don't want to say anything else too much, but
yeah, it's your team, so I get it. I get that part of you. From the neutral fan perspective, I think it's them and the Padres are number 1 and 2 right now. The Padres are also getting obliterated, so that's not helping my case.
Yeah, no, I don't.
What a bizarre series that is. 4 blowouts.
Yeah, we're gonna get more into that. I know we should talk about that series more as we go. But to wrap up my take,
what a game! RBI bunt. Now a single. Good for him.
Think of how far they've come, and we've covered them the whole season.
Yeah,
we thought they were done, and Jorge Lopez threw his glove up. The stands. Everyone thought the Mets were done. The Mets were second, third to last, and everyone thought they were gonna. Mets have never lost in the division series. Oh, that's interesting. I'll read that stat in a bit. So to wrap up my take on the Mets, like I said, I'm a diehard Mets fan, and I'm seeing the run that they're going on. I am proud to say that I'm a diehard Mets fan. This is great, and I did been to a lot of games this year. I hope it gets to the playoffs. I hope to, so like I said, I'm proud to be a Mets fan. This team's making me proud, and it's great. They are gaining respect from the baseball world. the way they've been, the way they've come back, like they're gaining. Usually, the Mets are the people, the team, their teams are laughing at them. They've looked. It's been the opposite. Everyone's gaining so much respect for them. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another stat I want to bring up. Shea Station just brought up the stat. The Mets have never lost in the division series. They've in '99 they beat Arizona 3-1. 2000 they beat the Giants 3-1. 06 they swept the Dodgers. In 15 they beat them in 5, and they just swept. They beat the Phillies 3-1. That's crazy.
Right, because the division series started in 95 was the first one.
I guess with the wild card, yeah.
93, yeah. Wow, yeah, that's kind of wild. It's kind of cool.
I had confidence when Lindor hit that grand slam. I went nuts.
Oh yeah, I knew the game was over. I said it. I said game over.
Game over. It was done. And I knew people that were there. They sent me some video of after it, and the place was electric.
Yeah, that was game over.
If they do win it, would you come with me to the parade?
Yeah, definitely. For the history of it. No, I would go to any of the parades for the New York teams. I go to a Liberty parade if like friends of mine were interested in going, which I probably wouldn't be, but that's beside the point. One thing, when you said they didn't trade Alonso and people wanted them to trade Alonso, when they struggled a little bit afterwards, and I kept the faith on the Mets all year. I did. It's my proudest take. That's up there on my Mount Rushmore of takes, right alongside Luka Doncic should have been drafted by the Suns. That's right next to them, neck and neck.
You did say that. You said it.
Yep. Yeah. And those two are right up there. Mets are going to be a playoff team. That's right up there. Beautiful. Wow. Chef's kiss. I always kept the faith, but I wavered a little bit after the trade deadline because they struggled. And I said that maybe they should have traded JD Martinez. And looking back at it, even when he struggles at the plate, and I know a lot of Met fans were getting on him about it and, saying to me and each other, that he's struggling and he's doing bad and making their comments. But the way the team views him, both the organization and the players, they view him as a player coach. All the players rave about how he's helped them, especially the younger players, with their approach, with that bats, learning things. Yeah. He was one of the first guys to really start using technology to help his performance in obviously a legal way of, breaking down his tape,
right?
Looking at, different angles of his swing and whatever for his mechanics. So he has that kind of knowledge that keeping him while you're bringing up these younger guys to give them those opportunities because your team is struggling, keeping him just in the locker room wound up being such an advantage for them in the long run. If you look at his season, it's an average season, right? 235 is a little, around the Mendoza line, 106 OPS plus.
For him, it's pretty low. A little, not pretty low, but it's there,
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not expecting him to have an OPS plus of 173 again. You know what I'm saying? It's his lowest of his career aside from.
That's crazy. 173. That's insane.
He
had a great year.
Lowest in 12 years. All right, fine, but he's getting legitimate games played, over half.
But he still had a great year, though. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. It's not bad.
Every team he's been on, they've made the postseason. He went to the postseason with Detroit. He went to the postseason with Boston. Definitely.
Did you see that stat somewhere, or are you just saying that? Because I don't think he did it with Houston those first 3 years, 11 through.
They said all 5 teams he's been on. Did he go in 17? They said 5. Someone said 5 teams he's been on.
Detroit, Arizona, Boston, Dodgers, Mets. And the Mets. Yeah, so 5. He was on 6. Houston would have been the 6th, so 5 out of his 6 teams.
And so,
also, he wasn't getting consistent playing time on the Astros, so maybe that's what somebody meant.
I guess. Did they make it, Houston? They weren't.
No,
they were bad around that time, right?
Yeah, they were just on the come up, so I don't think he played.
Right,
now you could scroll down and see his postseason stats. Maybe I'm wrong.
Take a look.
Maybe I'm wrong. Doesn't happen all the time, but it certainly happens. Postseason batting. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that! I'm right.
Wait, five out of his, so five, 5 out of his 6 teams,
Not
they
bad.
went to the playoffs. Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, no, it's just been remarkable. Before when he signed with the Mets, and Mendoza said it after in the celebration that Martinez said it that he signed with this team to to help them make the playoffs, and Mendoza kept stressing that people were laughing at him, and I look at them now, you know, and they're only going to keep going. It's only up from here, so hopefully they keep going. And boy, if they win the pennant and then make it to the World Series, and then make it to the World Series and win it, oh, forget about it.
Such a good lineup.
Mm.
Timely hitting. All of them are clutch players. It's unbelievable.
But anything you say before we wrap up? Because I want to talk about the Yankees quick.
Of course, I want to talk about the Yankees. They're gonna have their work cut out for them. I still have them as the number one ranked team in the playoffs, but they're gonna have their work cut out for them. Dodgers, Padres. One of these teams, we know what they can do. Who knows if Freddie Freeman's healthy? If the Dodgers win Game 5, or
The
even if he
Padres are
plays in Game
definitely.
5.
I think the Mets can definitely beat both of them. But the Padres are definitely. They're both scary teams. No matter
Yeah.
what, they're there for a reason. The Padres are definitely showing out. They look great. I know that. I feel like the Padres got a good atmosphere, and so do the Dodgers. I think the difference between the Dodgers last year and this year is obviously who they got Shohei Ohtani,
Mm.
and they're both tough matchups. So the Mets are definitely going to have their work cut in. So no matter what, they're both going to be great series, and because Padres got Machado, and they got the Padres. They beat the Mets a couple years ago, so the Mets are going to be looking for revenge this time. And the Mets played them good in the regular season. They swept them at home, but then they only took 2 out of 4 in San Diego. So it would be tough. I don't know who I'd rather have them face, the Dodgers or the Padres, because the Dodgers destroyed the Mets in the regular
Yeah,
season.
yeah. I texted a friend of mine earlier. I don't think they got back to me. I'll check. I asked them the same thing. 'Cause I said, like, what a game. They're a Mets fan. And no, they didn't get back to me. And I said, who would you rather face, Padres or Dodgers? Because I am curious what Met fans are thinking. Because the lineup in LA is crazy. The pitching staff for the San Diego with the lineup is really good. I think this might sound crazy, people. I think I'd rather go up against the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, I agree, because the Padres are hot too, man. People forgetting, like they're
They
they
did get shut out tonight.
tonight they got obliterated.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to talk about my Yankees. Oh, and Phillies. Thanks for playing.
Have fun in Aruba.
Yeah, have fun.
Have fun in Aruba.
Bye,
Yeah,
Phillies.
the Yankees, man. It's been an interesting series for KC. I know that KC was going to play like going to play them good, but hey, credit to the Yankees. I got to give the credit where the credit is due. You know,
Yes.
they had a great game one. That was back and forth. Game two, not so much. I know you had your questions about that, but tonight they won 3-2 against the Royals, and that was a good game. I know the the bottom of the eighth was a little questionable, but Giancarlo Stanton, you know, I heard he stole a base today. I know everybody was
He
freaking out about
did.
that.
He did steal a base. Old man,
Oh my
broken
god,
down. This whole series, Bob Costas has been ragging on the lack of athleticism Stanton has now, which nobody can dispute, least of all Stanton himself. And he gets a monster lead and steals it back. And it wasn't like a wild pitch. It wasn't defensive indifference. Nope. It was a clean, classic Vince Coleman stolen base for our boy Giancarlo Stanton.
that's right.
Attaboy, the artist formerly known as Mike, stole his base. Good for him. Good for him.
Good for Stanton.
And he has the second highest. I sent myself the stat so I can read this off
Yeah,
properly.
you tell me before. You definitely got to
The
say it to the viewers.
second highest home run per at bat rate in postseason history, trailing only our boy Babe Ruth. So Babe Ruth hit a homer in the postseason 1 out of every 8.6 at bats. Mr. Stanton 1 out of every 9.4. Then Randy Rosarania at 10.3, Nelly Cruz at 10.3, and Kyle Schwarber at 10.9. Not too shabby. And when Stanton heats up, you know what I've been saying all year long. People rag on Stanton, but when he heats up, he can carry a lineup. So if he can get going like this, oh my gosh, light tower power for him, man. Legitimate light tower power.
There will be a Game 5 in the NLDS for the Padres and Dodgers.
Yeah, there could only be one.
But so I continue.
Yeah, and listen, people didn't like what Jazz Chisholm said, saying the Royals just got lucky and whatever. I had a problem with it too, like a little bit like, hey man, let's not give bulletin board material, whatever. But at the same time too, I do like how someone on the Yankees for once has a personality and isn't just like, yeah, it's right in front of us. We just got to keep playing hard and eat our Wheaties and say our prayers. No, I'm happy that somebody has a little bit of an edge to them. Has a little Jesse Winker in them.
Yeah.
Not full Jesse Winker, but a little. I don't know if I'd call it a full wink, but a little twitch,
A little twitch. Either but Jazz Chisholm brings like another type of energy to the lineup.
Now, would I prefer that he doesn't go 0 for 4 after saying comments like that? Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Right. That's reasonable, It's not, I feel like everybody would agree with you right there.
Mm-hmm. So, Jazz, we could take the old Allen key and tighten that up a bit.
I could give it to him. Hey, I could give him an Allen key.
Yeah. And one thing that everybody's been saying and ragging on our guy, I do nothing but throw flowers at him, so I gotta own it up. But the good, there must be bad. Judge, Aaron, Bubby, come on. You want to talk about tightening it up? A-bomb. What are we doing? What are we doing? No postseason home runs in his career?
What's going on with that? No, I'm saying I
don't know. I think he's pressing too hard. I think it's the same thing when the season first started. I think he's pressing too hard. But and I know, when that levee breaks, flood's coming. When Aaron Judge, when he goes, he goes. No matter
just waiting for him to go, waiting for that
a sleeping beast, a slumbering giant. Yeah,
I'm waiting. And I love Judge. I definitely want to see him do good. It's just it sucks seeing how he's been. I don't know if the pressure's getting to him. I don't know if it's just like the heat of the moment, but the regular season, when you do in a regular season, he has to translate to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of it is he's pressing too hard. He's pressing too much. He's got guys on his roster that can pick him up, man. Glaber's been good. Yeah. Torres has looked good. Now we got 5-tool players, Stanton. Who's going to throw him out, bro? The big kahuna. In there with ease. Brandon, you got to look it up at some point. I know you're at work, so you didn't see it, but you got to look it up.
What's that?
The Stanton stolen base. The greatest play in the history of sports.
Let me see if I can find it quick. Because now I'm curious.
Yeah, I want to see your live reaction. He nabbed it. He nabbed that base.
I think it is cool, though. Yeah, no, Stanton. There was other players that would, that were, and that was a question with the Yankee lineup the whole season. A lot of people were saying, and even some people, said it like, hey, the Yankees only got 2 hitters. Well, now tonight they got 3. No, the whole lineup. It's good to see that other people. Man, he went 3 for 5 tonight. Damn, that's insane.
A homer, a single, a double, and a stolen base. Yeah. How do you like them apples? John Carlos Stanton says.
Yeah. Sorry,
it's our boy.
So it's cool to see that Stanton, contributed And we were talking about it before the show. People keep forgetting how good he was on the Marlins. Like, I remember when he first got traded to the Yankees. It was a big deal. It was like them trading for Juan Soto, except Juan
Yeah,
Soto is Juan Soto. But you know what I mean? It was that's how big that trade was at the
hit
time.
59 home runs.
It was like when they signed like A-Rod. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be
Yeah,
that type of big like signing, and
th-
it's kind of been like in between. How can you say the stand 10 years been?
when they first signed him, you're right. They signed at that point in time the best clean power hitter of the 21st century. Hit 59 home runs, dude. 59.
Yeah.
So he had high hopes, high expectations. He's not always healthy in the playoffs, but like we said, the playoff stats are ridiculous. You know, it's unbelievable for what he's done for us throughout his career in the postseason. So I get it. I get people saying he's not that good and that he's injury prone, he's overpaid. I get all that. I mean, if a pitch is out of the zone, but down and out in the zone, he looks helpless. In 29 postseason games, he has 11 home runs, not including today. So in 30, he has 12. His career postseason batting average 250, 25 career RBIs in the postseason. A stolen base with us back in 2018 against Oakland. But I mean, really, he's always been really good. He batted below 200 twice in the postseason. Actually, he batted below 220 twice. He had 167 in 19 in the ALDS against Minnesota, 125 and 20 against Cleveland. I'm sorry, in 22 against Cleveland, but he had 6 RBIs and 2 home runs to end the series. So, I didn't realize you had it up. I feel like an idiot.
You good?
So he's, what do you want me to say? I don't know. That's not a bad player to me. 29 games, 62 total bases. Seems okay to me. But Judge needs to step it up because his postseason numbers are the exact opposite.
Yeah. No. Hopefully he gets it together. Who'd you guys have? Oh, you guys. Okay, you guys had Cole Schmidt. And then Clay Holmes has been. I feel like I've seen him a couple times. And
They
Luke,
brought him out like the 5th or 6th inning today.
you guys
Luke Weaver got the
Luke
5.
Weaver.
He got the 5-out save today, Luke Weaver, which was nice. Tommy Canley had an inning and .1 of work. He looked good, man. The pitching rotation the pitching bullpen, looked really good. Nervous kind of about Garrett Cole going tomorrow because he was really bad in game 1. We won despite Garrett Cole's efforts. So hopefully we could, get him right.
Yeah.
And hopefully Cleveland beats Detroit tomorrow so we get that extra day so Garrett Cole and the guys can kind of rest up a little.
Right.
If they need it.
Being up hypocrite to the Yankees. So, do you think they're going to be able to close it out?
I don't know. I'm nervous. Kansas City, they're not a bad team, dude.
No, they're not a bad team. Bobby Witt, man.
He finally got his first hit of the I don't know if it's for the post. No, definitely not the postseason because he hit the homer against Baltimore. Not the homer, but the hit against Baltimore. But he got his first hit of this series tonight. It was a single. So who knows? Maybe he wakes up a little too. That would be nerve-wracking. Yuli Gurriel, still a Yankee killer like he wasn't at Houston.
Yeah,
so I'm a
that's
little
crazy.
nervous, but hopefully we can do it.
All right. And just One thing I'm curious about: how come the Yankees that series they didn't play? They played Saturday, but didn't play Sunday, and they played Monday. Like,
Dude, don't ask me.
ask Rob Manfred.
Don't even ask him. He's not the one who does the scheduling.
But it's definitely been an interesting postseason so far. I think it's been great. I don't know what I guess I don't know if it's because my all teams are in it. My Mets and your Yankees. I guess because they're in it.
No, this is really good.
It's great.
This is really good. This is one of the better
Great game.
postseasons I remember.
It's been one. Yeah, it's been a really great postseason.
No sweeps, which I kind of like because now you get competitive games on both sides. Cleveland, Detroit. I keep missing the games because they're on 3:00 in the afternoon, buddy. What are we supposed to do? 3:00 in the afternoon. Hopefully tomorrow it's a later game so I can finally watch it. Because I feel bad. I want to watch Tigers Guardians, but I have work.
Yeah, that's what
Some
grinds my
people have-
gears.
Yeah.
That I got to find the scheduling people for. I'm like, hey, come on, don't you know people got work?
Hey, give him the old Full House. Cut it out.
Oh my god,
6:00 tomorrow. Guardians at Tigers, and then Yankees 8 to 11:30. Oh, hopefully I'm back from the gym by then.
It's just definitely been a great postseason.
Mismo.
Any other takeaways from the postseason?
No, not yet. Not yet. I have to watch Tigers Guardians to have an opinion on it. Tigers won today 3-0. I haven't really had much of an opinion. I guess I could give you guys the stats from today. Oh, the big homer. I did see it the other day. Kerry Carpenter. The lefty off the bench. Pinch hitting. Home run. People call him Kerry Bonds. Big boy. Right off Emmanuel Class A. I actually did watch that Emmanuel Class A thing. He got rocked Monday night. So we'll see. We'll see how the Guardians do tomorrow.
One thing I do want to bring up, Terry Francona. He's back in baseball.
Back on the Reds.
Why did he come back into the fold?
I don't know. He had health issues. I thought he was gone. I thought he was retired, just waiting on his Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good Hall of Fame career.
Oh, he's definitely getting in, dude. He's definitely getting in. Got Cleveland to the World Series. That in and of itself is worthy of getting a Hall of Fame plaque. But breaking the Red Sox drought? No. Brandon, he didn't just break the Red Sox drought. He won another ring too in 2007. People forget that.
Yeah.
So he got the hardware. He got the jewelry. Got some Man of the Year awards too, I'm sure. He's an inner circle, bro.
Do you see it?
I do see it. Look at that. You got 2 rings.
It's crazy.
2 appearances.
I remember 2011. I remember that time.
Yeah, he was fired after that year.
Because that was with that collapse, right?
Yup. Chicken in the beer.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember the next day. I remember when he resigned, and then Bobby Valentine was the manager the next year for them. So
that's right. Yeah, I forgot. 3-time manager of the year. Yeah, he's in.
Oh wow! Look at their record before. That's crazy. But they were great. 16 and 17. They had some really good teams.
They're fantastic. They had Jason Kipnis. Yeah.
Yeah.
For him. Who's it? Rajay Davis?
Lindor.
Yeah.
Cookie Carrasco.
J-Ram. Oh my gosh. Kluber. Corey Kluber. Yeah, Klubot. I forgot who's on our team, and I was thinking J Happ. I'm like, it wasn't J Happ. It was Corey Kluber.
No, it was Corey Kluber.
Yeah. They had some really good players, man. And then a little later, they got Shane Bieber. Total glass cannon. You want to talk about glass cannons? They had Andrew Miller out of the pen. Yeah, they had some good teams, man.
Oh yeah, I remember Andrew Miller. He was.
Did they have Edwin Encarnacion too at one point?
I think they might have. Let me take a look.
I think they might have.
Baseball Reference.
Big day for Baseball Reference on the show. A lot of screen time.
Definitely. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Edwin. Let's see. He was with them in 16, 17, and 18.
16, 17, 18 or just 17, 18?
Just 17, 18. He wasn't on the team before. He was a Yankee too.
I do remember that. In 19?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he retired after 2020.
White Sox that year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. See, you know your baseball, man.
Yeah. I'm surprised I remember that.
Let's see. Wow, the Red Sox, they fired 6 coaches.
Did they fire Cora?
It doesn't say.
They're going after the Marlins record. Did you hear? 70 people in the Marlins organization got fired.
Yeah, Jesus. That's insane. That's a lot of people.
There's nice people that work for the Marlins. I was on the field before the WBC game. I met some of the Marlins player staff. Nice people out there. Shame on you, team
70
owner.
people is crazy.
Yeah. You think?
A lot of
Rude.
people. All right. Robert Saleh of the Jets in the NFL world, he got fired.
Yeah. Not baseball, but firings.
So the people that got fired from Boston are the first base coach, Andy Fox, the bullpen coach, Kevin Walker, the assistant hitting coach, Luis Ortiz, the mental skills coach, Ray Frontes, trainer, Ben Chadwick.
Mental skills coach. How do I get that job?
Sounds like a good job. And the bullpen catcher, Manny Martinez. Those are who got fired, but it doesn't say anything about Alex Cora. It says Alex Cora will be back after he and the Red Sox agreed to a 3-year contract in July that extended his run through 2027. And the article was by Steve Pollock.
Mental skills coach.
I gotta look that up. It sounds pretty good.
I felt not confident in myself anymore. I have an idea. Did you try going to a nightclub because you're a professional athlete and you can just get any dime piece in there? There you go. Now you're on a hot streak. How hard is that? Hey, you know what you've done your entire life? Do that. That doesn't seem that hard. I'm oversimplifying it. I'm sure Chris Webber fans are like, you don't get it, Dennis, but
Chris Webber.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else here? Who do you got? Tigers versus Guardians. It's kind of the forgotten series here.
I thought they were winning last time I saw the Guardians. What happened? They were up to 1. No, the Tigers. The Tigers. They were up 3-0, right? Oh yeah. Oh, they won. Okay, no.
They won. So now they're up 2-1. Who do you got? I kind of want the Guardians to win, but
I like the
Jose
Tigers.
Ramirez, man. I really like Jose Ramirez. But I don't really care. Like both of these teams, I kind of like them. I like the Royals too, to be honest with you. All 3 of them. I'm like, all right, I don't really mind it.
I think we're close to. How close do you think we are to seeing a Subway Series again?
Oh, I think my team is bad. Like I don't know. I think you guys are going to the World Series. My team, I don't know what's going on in the American
If
League.
the Yankees and the Mets come back, face off again,
I'll have to kill you.
Hey, whoa!
I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding.
Yeah.
well, I guess I ain't running into you in a dark alley.
No.
Yeah, no, I know you.
Your Uber has arrived.
Yes,
takes on a totally new meaning. Yeah.
I know you're kidding. I was gonna say, but the ticket prices for a Subway Series in the world. It's like in today's day and age, forget about it.
Oh, that's costing you $1,000.
Forget about it.
Forget
I
about
was looking at tickets for the World Series, and I'm sorry to keep you like. I feel like I know when the hour hits, I know we stop at the show, but I have a ton of energy tonight. I guess because the Mets won, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And so many good just playoff baseball. It's great, man. This is just I feel like it's just this like we said before. This is a great postseason baseball.
Yeah, a kid I work with who's a diehard Met fan, shout out my buddy Joe, was saying like he was telling me, he's like, bro, I went 2 whole paychecks. I just put it right into my account. I didn't even touch that money. He's like, I've been saving it since they started doing good around June, July. I've been saving up money in case to go to the World Series. I'm getting tickets.
I want to go. I definitely want to go. It's just the only time I would go. It sucks. Is that I guess it's fine if I say it on the show. October 20th. I looked at the postseason schedule. So October 28th, that's when Game 3 would be. I would think they're going to be home because they're the sixth seed.
Yeah, the lowest seed in the playoffs.
So I doubt they're going to get like the Game 1 or Game 2.
Yeah.
So Game 3 would be on October 28th. I was supposed to get my three of my wisdom teeth taken out. Now my mom keeps saying to me, like, "Oh, you're not going to want to, like, oh, you're not going to be able to go." I want to hear your thoughts on it. I might still go. It's a world.
Don't ask me questions about dentistry. First of all, you guys could see by my teeth, kind of look like Jaws from James Bond. So I know nothing about teeth. 2, I thought this was kind of funny. 2, me and my dentist, we are like in a heated battle right now. Like that's not.
That's it.
So yeah, I haven't got my wisdom teeth pulled out. So I don't know. I don't know how it is. I know absolutely nothing. If it was me, I'd say, listen, go to the game, and if your teeth start bothering you, you start feeling pain or whatever, go to like the Tillamore Dew bar or whatever, get a couple of shots, call it a day, go to your seat, have fun.
I'll think about that.
You know? But again, like not a doctor, no clue what I'm doing. And again, I know nothing about teeth in particular because I look like Jaws from James Bond. So
yeah, you know what? I'll reiterate back on those comments. Because like I said, you know, I don't know how I'll be, so you know, I'm gonna say this smartly. If I were to get my wisdom teeth out, going to World Series might not be a good idea because I don't know how I'll be. So maybe spending the night watching it at home would not be a bad idea at all.
Maybe try to go to Game 4.
That I will try. Yeah. Either way, there'll be 2 other games, and I have comp time, so I can do that. Like, oh, why is Brandon out? He's busy. And meanwhile, I'll be with my rally towel at the.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was looking at tickets, but they're expensive, man. For the World Series, it's a lot of money.
What are we looking at?
Let's see. You want to know? It's at least 1,000. It's you see it?
No, 1,300. I'm shooting from the hip.
It's at least $1,000, and I'm looking at tickets. Yeah, like it. Jesus, yeah, it's a lot. So I'd rather go to the seat. I would love to go to the World Series, but I'd
probably cheaper if they play Detroit or Cleveland. Probably cheaper to go there to watch the game. Like I remember the Hawks and the Knicks playing the playoffs. It was cheaper to fly down to Atlanta.
Yeah,
that's insane. Knicks tickets. Thank goodness I'm a Suns fan. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I heard Suns prices are ridiculous now too,
but either way. But hey, great postseason ball. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Let's go Yankees! Bop 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 bop. I dropped my shirt.
All right. Well, all I gotta say is let's go Mets. LFGM.
Am I doing it right?
Let me see. Hold on.
It's kind of like flicking water when you wash your hands, right? So I'm not doing it close at all. Why didn't you tell me this?
I thought you had it. I thought you had it.
I don't know. Now I do. I'm doing the walk like an Egyptian thing. Big Bengals fan. Big Bengals fan.
Do they sing the Eternal Flame?
Yes, they do.
Love that
What a
song.
pull
Love
from
that song.
Buddy. I love Eternal Flame. Love Susanna
Dude,
Hoffs.
I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna blast that tomorrow in the gym. We'll be doing chest and
Look like
Eternal
an
Flame.
Egyptian. And Manic Monday. I like that song too.
When I think of that song, I think of the 90s so much. I don't know.
I think it's like 87 maybe.
But hey,
I,
let's go.
like I know when that song came out, I'm just like coming up with the random me. Yeah, we'll go with that one.
But all right. So anyways, we thank you for joining us on another edition of Battin and Chattin. For my co-host Denis Tuohy and the entire Blackjack Media Group team, I'm Brandon Natale saying so long, and we'll see you next time. Let's go Mets.